Okay, we are live here. This is Anthony F. here, Mobile Tech Heat, with Shane from Fanatics Inc. And we're talking about the tech for this week. Here, go ahead and say hi, Shane.
What's up?
All right, so we had another guest scheduled, but this Hangouts here is not as easy as it looks. We couldn't get him on, but we'll get him on next week. So I wanted to talk to. Skip that. Oh, so Shane, that Matchstick Chromecast, right? What's it all about?
Okay, so if you guys have been pretty much living under a rock here, Matchstick is going to be, and I do believe that it is going to be, Chromecast rival. Because it's basically a Chromecast running Firefox. Now I say that lightly because I don't know, I didn't have a chance to actually review the specs on this yet, but apparently it's going to stream the same way as your Chromecast does. You can do it straight from your phone or whatever, and I think it's going to be one of those things. It's cheaper than the Chromecast, and I don't know if you guys have tried the Chromecast. My Chromecast is not working right, so I'm looking for something else. I can't. My Chromecast is still trying to update, so I haven't been able to find out why that's happening. So Matchstick is going to, I think, in some ways replace. Now, I do believe this is going to be like a nerd exclusive thing. I don't honestly think that everybody in the world's going to get this, but they might, depending on what stores they get it to. Chromecast, it's everywhere, so you're able to, purchase it everywhere and everything, and I think that really helps out the selling point of it all.
Yeah, I think now that I remember the name, I think that's the one that's going to be based on the Fire OS.
Firefox OS, not to be confused with Amazon Fire OS, which is a little bit confusing. Yeah, the Firefox OS, which we talked about on another episode, we talked about the Firefox phone. It's going to be running that same OS apparently. And I've been looking into getting a Firefox phone just to kind of test it out. And so I'm interested to see exactly how all that works. Right now I use Chrome. I use Chrome on my phone. I use Chrome on my desktop. Everything I use is Chrome. So Google really works for me in terms of that. I don't know. If this works better than the Chromecast, I'm sure going to use it a lot. I kind of bought it as a secondary device. I have the Chromecast, but like I said, it's not updating correctly, and I can't seem to get it working the way it was supposed to. And I know I looked on the forums, and Chromecast had a lot of problems with Netflix. And so if Firefox OS can play nice with everybody, and it's $25 instead of $35, I think a lot of people are going to buy it if they can get it into Best Buy and Target and Walmart and Kmart and places like that. Then yeah, I think it's going to be a huge success. The problem is trying to get into those stores. I think is going to be a little bit of the problem.
That's true. That's true. So I have Chromecast. I've had it for a while, and when I was using it on the 3G network, it was great, but everybody else was using it at the same time in my household, so it was kind of slow and loading. Now that I bought Comcast, I figured Comcast would be faster. Now it stops for unknown reasons. So I don't know if Comcast is sniffing packets, if they know Chromecast is on there too. Everything else works. I can download on my laptop, the phones work, internet's fine, but when I use Chromecast, crazy things happen. I have to restart constantly. So I don't know
and I think that's a huge deal for the Chromecast. I don't think it's working like it's supposed to be. Like I said, I haven't used mine in months because it won't update, and now I'm stuck and Netflix doesn't work. That's the whole reason I bought it. I have Netflix, and the wife wants to watch Netflix in the bedroom. In the living room, I have the PS3, and we can watch Netflix in there. But in the bedroom, we have a nice, decent-sized TV in there, and we want to be able to lay in bed and watch Netflix, and we can't do it. So now we're watching it on our phones. It's not as enjoyable. You can't have that good movie screen. And Chromecast is kind of, it was great when it worked, but when it doesn't work, it's a pain. And, mine's not a hacked one, so it has nothing to do with the fact that I've actually hacked the firmware. So I think Matchstick has a real opportunity right now because there are a lot of unhappy customers with Chromecast, and I don't know if I can return my Chromecast now. It's been quite a while, they've been trying to push out some updates to fix some of these problems. Some people wanted to blame Netflix, some people wanted to blame Chrome, Google. Whoever it is, they're not getting their ducks in a row, they're not telling the other party, hey, this is what's going on. And if Matchstick, like I said, if Matchstick can play nice with everybody, I'll buy 3 or 4 of them,
Yeah.
For $25, you can't go wrong. You buy a $25 thing, you take it with you on the road to the hotel room, you plug it in, because you can get a $10 adapter that will take it to RCA.
Right.
I don't know if this will work. I know it on the Chromecast it did. And you can plug it right into an old TV, so if you're in the hotel, man, you just sit there on their Wi-Fi watching Netflix. $25. If you forget it, you're up to $35 if you buy a $10 adapter. $35 if I forget it, oh well, I'm not going to worry about it. So it sure beats hauling around expensive laptops, tablets, and that type of stuff. If you can use something small like that, especially if you're someone who travels a lot, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's really tricky because once you buy a company's hardware, you're basically you're bought in. Like for instance, I bought a lot of movies now on Google, and then my kids would watch it with the Chrome, and they can't watch it all the time. Now I have an Xbox, and they can watch Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff, but they can't watch the Google movies that I bought. So it's kind of annoying, frustrating. They didn't put a beta tag on Chromecast, but I think in this case they really should have. On to the next subject. Apple is supposed to hold their event for the iPads and iMacs in Yosemite on October 16th. So, like you already said previously, yeah, they have a new device out, the iPhone, but guess what? More's coming out. So don't, save up your money for a little bit longer. You think there's gonna be some good products coming out?
Well, go in there with your save a lot of money. If the price of the iPhone 6 Plus tells you anything, that they're going to build something stupid expensive and people are going to buy it. Now, personally, I haven't seen specs, anything like that, so I can't attest to what they're doing. But whatever it is, I'm afraid it's not going to blow my mind. I'm sorry. I'm gun shy now. I was expecting so much from that Apple event. And we've talked about this. That was terrible. Now, I've heard some news since we talked about that, that the leaks, the supposed iCloud leaks, weren't necessarily Apple's fault. So, let's take that off the table and let's just talk about all the things that iPhone's done wrong in the past couple of weeks. The bending. And they claim that's only 9 people, but I've seen like 15 pictures of different phones. And then you got that, their announcement. Is this announcement going to be the same as the last one? Am I going to have to try to filter through Chinese, audio to understand what's going on? If so, I'm not even going to bother watching it. Second of all, is it going to be some old tech that we've seen in other companies? I won't say specific companies, but there's plenty of companies out there that already have all this technology that Apple's using, other than the retina display and stuff. But if you update it, then you might lose all that. So I don't know. I really was hoping so much more from Apple this year, and I kind of was expecting. I haven't done anything huge. So maybe this is where the huge moment's going to come. I'm hoping. Maybe when they announce this new iPad, we're all going to have to go buy it because it's that great. But I don't know. I'm a little worried about who's going to be running the show on this keynote, because if it's anything like the last keynote, I'm not going to watch it. And I think a lot of people will say the same thing.
Yeah. When it comes to technology, usually they present newer technology when it comes to their Mac products. Like they did years ago when they did the FireWire. And even now today when you do the thunder or the lightning wire now for their power and for the data. So they tend to innovate better with the bigger devices, their laptops and their desktops. So I think they will actually have something good, or at least new.
Well, and
Coming
I
out
will
to
say one thing about, the lightning adapter or whatever that's for the new phones. I don't know that it does anything more efficiently than the old one does, but it does stimulate Apple's pockets because now I got to go buy adapters like this. I just happen to have one sitting on my desk. I'll see if I can get in the picture. Now I got to buy something like this to connect it to all the devices I already had, or my wife had or whoever. And so it's a good marketing, and I can, hooray for Apple for thinking ahead of the game and going, hey, you know what? We can make so much money by just selling $30 adapters because people are going to lose these, they're going to break, and they're going to want to buy another one. So that's a good idea. But man, I want to see some software innovation that no one's doing. I want them to go, hey, guess what? We've got the answers to all your audio problems. You want to talk to your phone like Captain Kirk? Go ahead, we got that. And hopefully they do something innovative like that. Siri, that was pretty innovative. I'm not gonna try a Siri. Now, does it work flawlessly? No, but it wasn't. It was brand new at the time, so it's gotten so much better. And so has Google. Well, their voice stuff has gotten better. But I want something like that. I want them to do something that makes the iPhone and iPad something you have to buy to get that feature. Because that means everybody else is going to step up their game. And I want Apple to succeed. I don't want to see them go out of business. That's not. I mean, that does nothing good for anybody, really.
Right. Competition is very good, and Apple was very smart to buy the Siri company. So that was a previous company. They just bought that company and bought the technology, and that was good though because it did step up everybody's game for voice activation, voice control. Now, what do you think about the Snapchat? Now they're having some tears about Yahoo buying MessageMe.
I think it's childish. I don't know why this article is even. I mean, I know why you posted it on here for us to talk about, but I don't know why anybody thought this was an article worth writing. No offense to the writer, I'm sure he's a wonderful person, or she. But really, you want to write an article about Snapchat crying because Yahoo bought Snapchat for $30 million or something like that? I mean, does Snapchat have $30 million? Because if they do, I'm sure they're still in the running. To me, this seems like a little bit of a bicker. Like Snapchat's, I think it's an attention ploy. They're like, oh, we was trying to do that first, and Yahoo's stealing all our ideas. It's the same way back in the day with Apple and Windows. Windows was always slamming Apple for stealing their ideas. And, there's tons of advertisements from back then where, oh, Apple stole our stuff, or, there's video of it. And sure, people steal stuff from it all the time, but, there's no reason to cry about this. I didn't even know what MessageMe was.
Yeah.
So, Snapchat, you haven't lost anything yet. Try to buy WhatsApp or something next time. Really step up the game because I don't know what MessageMe is, but I'm guessing Yahoo's going to turn it into total crap because that's. And I'm sorry to say that, but have you seen anything from Yahoo worth downloading to your phone?
Yeah, I mean,
I used to have a Yahoo account. I've not even logged into a Yahoo account in 6 years. I mean,
I see clients in mainstream. They still go to Yahoo. That's still their main page. What was I going to say? Oh, okay, the Snapchat thing, MessageMe. Okay, so I think it's funny that Yahoo was buying a messenger since Google is going to create a messenger. They already have a messenger. Facebook is going to buy WhatsApp. Even though they already have Instagram. It's just everybody's trying to buy a texting app. Not really a instant message app, they already have those. They're trying to buy a texting app like WhatsApp, Line, those kind of apps.
And here's why. They're running out of money. No one's using Yahoo. Like you said, it's on corporate machines, but the first thing I do, when I get a new computer is I say I want my search engine to be Google. I can't help but think that everybody in the world uses Google. I mean, there's some people out there that probably use Yahoo, but you know, they're all in the nursing home by now. So Yahoo's going to have to step up their game and really do something special to keep making money. Because, like I said, I haven't used Yahoo in so many years. In fact, I don't even know the last time that I used a Yahoo search. You know, back in the day when Yahoo first came out, that's who I used. They had a great music library. You know, it was a lot like YouTube is now, but it was just music. And it was so great because you could go find any music you wanted to listen to. And they did a good job of putting the videos to where you could see them and that type of thing. And it worked really easy. You just search for who you want. It pops up. It wasn't a list of people that weren't who you wanted to watch. And they did a good job, but man, Google has just kind of taken over the world, and without them actually doing something like buying Message Me, I think they would go away. And I would guess there's a reason that they bought that before Snapchat did. Message Me must have something in it that's worth buying. There must be something that's pointing to numbers of making money, because you don't spend $40 million or $30 million on an app that's not going to do anything for you. So, you know, maybe we're going to see a reinsurgent of Yahoo here, and you know, that'd be cool. I mean, Yahoo's a great company and all. It'd be neat to see some other apps come out. The question is, why didn't they just build one from the ground up? It seems to me like you could purchase. I mean, you could literally buy you a developer and say, you're going to work for me for the next 3 years. Here's $3 million. I mean, 3 years, you know, that's $1 million a year. I would program for Yahoo for $1 million a year. Even if that meant I had to use Yahoo browser all the time. I don't think that would be that big of a deal if I was making $1 million. So there's got to be something in that code that's screaming moneymaker, I guess, is what that's. And I think Snapchat knows it, and they're going, you know, they want the world to know we had the idea first, so when it succeeds with Yahoo, they can say, well, that was our idea. Yeah, so I think maybe that's why they're throwing a fit. They want to be recognized as the ones who thought this up, when, you know, I'm sure everybody in the world had their eye on Message Me that had, you know, an extra 40 mils laying around somewhere. So it'll be interesting to see how this ends, because, you know, Twitch was going to get bought by Google. It was. That's what everybody said. And Amazon bought it. So, you know, Yahoo's saying they're going to buy it, but Snapchat may get it. You never know. They might slip them a deal under the table that says, here's $45 million. What you going to do about that? And then, bam, you're done. Snapchat, or, you know, Snapchat, you got Message Me. What you're going to do with that, I have no idea, because they're so unrelated. But, you know, it'll be interesting.
It's funny, because usually when a tech company acquires another company, or it's one of three things. It's the product, like the software, it's the audience, the people, the users that they have, or it's the engineer. They really like the skills they have, they want to put them in something else. Now, since Yahoo was shutting down Message Me immediately, they probably want the engineers that did so well with that technology, use that same technology for something that they're going to do down the road.
So what you're saying is they bought 40 engineers just now. I was correct about buying a developer. They just bought 40 or 30 of them is what they've done, probably, like I said. But they bought 30 engineers to design the new Yahoo. So don't be surprised if Yahoo changes drastically. It needs to. Something's going to have to break to... Because, like I said, I haven't used it. I have no desire to use it. I mean, why would I go to Yahoo when I've got Google? I mean, I'm afraid that Google has made the search engine thing. I mean, Yahoo's always going to have their search engine, because there's going to always be some retro guy that's like, yeah, Yahoo! But, you know, they're not making a ton of money off that, I don't think. You know, not in the way of Google's making money off their search engine. So.
Yeah, that's true. Now, have you used Redbox?
No, I'm not actually. We have them here, but I've never actually rented from one. I've had some family that has, but personally, I've never rented from Redbox myself.
Yeah, only thing I have now that has a DVD player is Xbox. I mean, I really don't have no use for any physical media. And when I go to the store and I see the Redbox thing there, I feel sad, because who's using that? I mean, in the beginning, people were using it because right after Redbox came out, all the physical stores that rented DVDs were closing down. So they did good for a while, but it's supposed to be closing October 7th. Okay, that's 3 days from now.
So if you're a Redbox fan, you better get your butt down to the Redbox and get you some DVDs before it runs out.
Oh,
Because I mean, you got 3 days. That's what, 72 hours. You might get through all of the Game of Thrones episodes, maybe.
That's just that's what happens in business.
I hate to see that go because that's one of those kind of iconic things, from our generation. There's not too much from our generation that still exists. The Razor's gone. That was a great phone. That's what everybody had. They don't really have. I mean, they've got one, but it's nothing like the old one. DVDs and CDs are obsolete. When was the last time you bought a CD, a physical CD? I might buy a CD if I go to Hastings and I'm like, man, I got like an hour drive home. I'll just go and buy this CD because it's $3. That's the only time I've bought a CD, and that's probably been 8 months ago. And then DVDs the same way. The only thing that really hasn't changed is in the media field is like PS3 games and Xbox games, those type of games. That's the only thing that's on media, and they're trying their hardest to get away from that. You see all the time they're pushing downloadable content on all those consoles. And I don't even know, could you even buy Wii games anymore? I think isn't it all online? I mean, you might be able to, I don't know. I was thinking you download most of everything on the Wii.
Well, the Wii, you can still use GameFly. I'll have them send you.
Okay.
But yeah, most everything's going.
And that's where the only thing where the actual media itself is going to hang on is because you can't really rent a digital copy. I mean, you can because we've seen it in ebooks, but you can't really rent a digital game like that. That's going to be a lot of work and a lot of policing to keep people from just somehow keeping it installed on their machine. So I can see GameFly that keeping up because that's an awesome program for gamers. I've heard a lot of people say, I wasn't going to use GameFly, but I got a cheap offer code, so I tried it out and it works really well because I'm a super gamer. So I can see things like that hanging on, but I really kind of miss, like I said, I never use Redbox, but it's going to be sad not to see Redboxes around anymore. There's just one more thing that's changed from when I was a kid, and I don't like change very much. I like to be able to go to Walmart and see a Redbox. I want to see that it's there. It's just one of those things.
Right, but it makes you feel comfortable. Some things are still there whenever you go. Yeah. Well, more sad news. Some more sad news is there's malware that Mac backdoor got wormed. Affected 17,000 Macs allegedly, and formed a botnet which receives communications from Reddit posts. I haven't read the article. I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but I just mentioned this because we do security a lot too, And it's a reminder that Macs can be infected.
Well, if you'd like to, everybody needs to take a step into the time machine, and let's go back in time to a podcast about a couple of weeks ago, where I said that if you go to the Best Buy, that they're going to tell you Mac can't get a virus, and I said you can. I said it's not likely, but it can. Here's the proof. So for everybody who laughed at me and tried to say that I'm a liar, there's your proof. We get lulled into a false insecurity with Apple. This happens all the time. We do this every time a new Apple device comes out. We go, freedom from viruses. And guess what? There's that creeper working on that virus in his basement right now going, I'm going to get you, and you're never going to know it. And that, you said there's how many computers infected now?
Oh, about 17,000.
So, now double that for the people who haven't realized that they have a virus yet because they don't understand that Apple can get a virus, or Macs can get a virus. And I think that number is going to continue to grow because people are not expecting this. And frankly, when you read the article at first, you're like, no, this is fake. And then you have to reread it and go, okay, So this is really happening. 17,000 computers are infected right now. That's crazy. You know, and I don't. If you took a toll right now of how many PCs are infected, it would be astronomical. I can't even quote a number of how many it would be, but you know, it's still scary to think of how many Macs that is. That's 17,000, potentially 17,000 different people's information are at risk right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
It is unfortunate. Just to change gears though, how do you feel about Sony Android? It's just Sony phones in general. I consider Sony like a Sony like a boutique kind of shop. They remind me of Apple kind of, where their good devices are only in Japan still, and they're kind of okay devices. You can get them maybe once in a while. What do you think about Sony?
Well, when you say the word Sony, I automatically go back to those giant double tape cassette, big entertainment centers. The music entertainment's got the CD, the double tape decks. That's what I think of when I think Sony. I think speakers and audio, because that's what they used to do, and they used to do it perfectly. And then they did the TV thing for a while, and they were pretty good with their TVs. They were okay. But, you know, I have never even looked at a Sony phone in person. Because AT&T don't have them, and Sprint doesn't have them. Not in store. You can get them, I think, but I haven't seen one in store. You know, we went to the AT&T store today, and I tell you what they had on the shelves: Samsung, HTC, and Apple. That was it. Oh, and they had the Kindle Fire.
Oh.
And I think they had that because you could only get it on AT&T. So there was no Sony. There was no, you know, there's a few other brands of Android devices. There, you know, I just don't know what a Sony phone is.
Yeah. I'm looking now at the Verge article. I'm trying to see what carrier it's on, but the article does not mention anything about the carrier, which is...
And that could be because it's an international only, maybe. I don't know. Because, like you said, these are popular overseas. Sony's a pretty big company overseas, but they're not here. Okay. Oh, and AT&T also has LG, but those are Windows phones. So, you know,
yeah,
still no Sony then.
I like LG. LG actually makes pretty good Android phones. The Windows phone, I think have I tried it? I'm not sure I tried a Windows phone at LG. I had the HTC for Windows, and it was okay. But it's Windows. You know, you have to be in that environment to like it.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I picked up a Windows phone today, and I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I set it back down and went back to Android because I have no use for a Windows phone. Yeah, I have Windows on my computer, but I have Windows 7 because I'm a nerd, and people like us don't like Windows 8. You know, it's kind of like, and I hate to say this because I was so for this part, it's kind of like Ubuntu on your phone. I wanted that to work, but man, I'm just not in that environment where I can use that in the correct environment. Someone who uses Windows 8 and has a Windows Surface and has a Windows tablet, and they need a Windows phone. Someone who has an Ubuntu machine, an Ubuntu laptop, an Ubuntu tablet, which they have all those devices. Man, Ubuntu on your phone is perfect. You know, for everybody else, if you got a Windows machine and an iPad and you need an Android device or an iPhone, or you know, Windows Phone just kind of gets in the way of things more than anything. And I can't get over that tile thing. I'm not huge into the tile thing. That whole thing just doesn't agree with me for some reason. I don't know why. But getting back to Sony again, maybe we can try to stay on topic this week. You're kind of right. I think Sony is a lesser Apple. They want to be Apple, basically. They want to be that unique thing. I just don't know. I can't really talk about this because I've never held one. I don't even know.
Right.
I couldn't tell you a Sony Android phone that's out there. I can tell you, I can tell you an HTC Android. I can tell you a Samsung Android. I can tell you what's another. I can't tell you a Nokia Android phone because they're kind of a Windows thing right now. They're doing a little Windows stuff. But
they have some in India.
Yeah, they've got some, and if I seen it, I could point it out. But I couldn't. If you took all the Sony markers off that phone, I'd say that was an HTC. You put your finger over the top of that, and you pull out your HTC M8, and you're going, oh my goodness, that looks like an HTC. Because this was good. So I'm going to home button down there. It's pretty similar to the HTC. It's set up pretty similar. The icons look a lot like, and the only thing that's different is there's a lot more Google on there on this particular picture. Now you pick one up in stores, it's probably totally different, but yeah, you cover up that Sony. It looks like an HTC, which good for you. You're copying a good company, but I don't know. Have you ever held one in your hand to say whether their hardware is worth it or anything, or the screen resolution's clear?
I don't remember. Funny enough, I've had phones from T-Mobile, AT&T, and Sprint, and I don't remember if I had a Sony. I think I might have had a Sony once. Maybe.
I just can't think that I've never even held one, I don't think. If I did, I didn't know it, or I wasn't paying attention or something. But that's interesting. Like you said, they're big overseas. Maybe they'll come big here. I think Sony's one of those companies people are just like, I don't think I want my phone to be a Sony. You can put Sony in my car stereo, I'm fine with that.
Right.
You want to sell me a Sony TV, I can get with that, but a Sony phone, you'd really have to convince me pretty hard to switch from a Samsung to a Sony. Which, funny story, in the AT&T store today, the lady that we talked to was very insistent that Samsung is one of the most popular phones bought from AT&T. She says 90% of the people that she checks out, or it was some percent, it was a high percent, maybe not 90, I don't want to quote her completely, but she said most of the people that she checks out either buys a Sony or an iPhone, and she says Sony's very, very popular. So, or Samsung, sorry. Samsung's very, very popular.
Well, yeah. Nowadays, there's only basically two competitors. Sony, I'm saying Sony. Samsung. We go on a Freudian thing tonight. We're repeating each other. We're saying don't say that word, and we're saying that word. Samsung and Apple is ruling the mobile space right now, and that's just crazy. Actually, that's all we have for tonight. But I wanted to chop out a little space for you and talk about your new ventures and your new website.
Okay, well, I've started Fanatics Inc., and I'm super passionate about this. This is something that's been a long time coming, but I didn't know how I was going to pursue this in such a way that it would make good sense. So if you have the time, go to fanaticsInc.com, and it's there on the bottom of my screen. You can see how it's spelled. Basically, I'm going to, and the website's going to continue to grow as I get more and more time. Eventually, what I want to do is be able to make this how I make my living, and I want to build not just content for you guys, but a brand that people can recognize and say, hey, that's a good, he makes good videos, or he's got good content, I can trust what he says. And I'm trying to build a website that's not just for tech people, but for everybody. It's going to be mainly tech, but I want, the noobs to be able to come to the site and learn things. So some of my videos, you're going to go, man, why did he make that video? Everybody knows how to do it. Not everybody knows how to do that. It's like transferring files from your phone to your computer. A guy at work, he had no idea how to do it. He's not a computer person. But hey, he had some songs that he bought on his phone legally, and he wanted to put them on his computer to listen to. So I said, sure, I'll make, instead of showing you, I'll make a video for you, and I'll post it online, and that way you can see it, and it's a great. So sometimes my videos are going to be very basic, introductory videos, but I want to build basically a brand that says, this is content that's worth watching. I see so many YouTube videos out there and my videos aren't perfect, but I see so many videos out there that you can't hear the volume, or you can't see what's really going on, or they go too fast, or they don't give enough information. And I want to build videos that that you can watch and go, oh man, I learned so much. And because I like to learn, so that's what Fanatics Inc. is going to be doing, is building content for the everyman, basically. If you want to learn something, you go to Fanatics Inc. If you want to learn how to smoke ribs, you can go to Fanatics Inc. and learn how to smoke a good set of ribs. If you want to learn how to change your power supply in your computer, I've got that on there too. And while these channels aren't going to be like an everyday thing, I'm going to continue to add more and more videos to those channels. Now, the main channels that I'm going to be working like daily are the Android channel. That's my biggest one right now. It's Android Fanatics, and everything on the channel or on the website is pretty much something Fanatics. And so I've got the Android Fanatics, which if you know anything about me, you know that I'm passionate about Android. I've also got the iOS Fanatics, which is app reviews with iOS. And then I started recently Chrome Fanatics, which is, you can get on there and you can watch Chrome app reviews, because I think that's important. These Chromebooks are getting more and more popular, and people are starting to buy them. And guess what? You can play games on your Chromebook. Why not? It's a great size screen. You can sit there at the desk, while you're waiting on whoever to do something, or you're at work and you're bored. You can play a little game on your Chrome. When the boss walks by, you minimize your browser, and he doesn't know the wiser. I want to build videos that you guys can watch and enjoy, and I hope that my content is worth watching. And basically, with this website, it's a home. Basically, this is where I live. Anything that I do is going to be put on that website. So, and it's a way to contact me easily. If you want to contact me, just go to the website. There's contact forms all over the place. And, if you have suggestions for other channels that you want to see me do, it doesn't matter which one you email me on, I'll pretty much answer. And then, I'm working on getting all my social media stuff set up. But the main thing right now is, the website's just brand new. And it's going to take a lot of critiquing to make it perfect. So I need people to actually visit the website and say, man, you got to change this. This doesn't work. Or, man, I'd really like to see this moved over here. Or that's just not going to, that type of thing. I need some feedback. So, I'm very passionate about making videos and doing, basically making videos. Because I enjoy making videos. I enjoy getting into Adobe and editing all that stuff, and these videos take a long time to make.
That's true.
So it's not just something I don't literally just record with my phone. I used to do that, and you can look back and you can see my video has grown and grown. And even up recently, when I was exporting my videos, I wasn't exporting them correctly, and you'll see that there's tile. If you watch it on a computer screen, it doesn't look quite right, or there's a lot of border around it, or whatever. I've gotten those issues solved, and I'm working on getting, the best video I can possibly make with equipment that I have. And it's like I tell everybody, I started out with just recording it on my phone, and I'm slowly growing. As I can afford to get better equipment, I'm going to do that. And the way I can afford better equipment is you guys visiting the site and showing support for what I'm doing. And then if there's something I'm doing that's just totally off base, that you're like, man, he shouldn't even be attempting this, let me know. I don't want to waste my time, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste the internet space and resources for stuff that's not worth it. So, Fanatics Inc. is going to be my home, basically, on the internet, where you can find everything I'm involved with, because I think it's important. A lot of people, they do all this stuff on other websites, they post everywhere, but they don't have a place where you can go visit them and learn. Here you can learn everything that I'm interested in about 10 minutes. You can see, well, he likes cooking, he likes doing tech videos, and Android and iOS and app reviews. So you can find out a lot about me in about 10 minutes on the website without even an about page. So that's kind of what's going on. It just launched today. It has been up for a few weeks, but it's kind of I changed everything on it, just completely redid the whole website. So if you've been there and you looked at it, you need to go and retry it. It's got a real pretty interface when you come to the very front of it. Um, and I've been asking people to give me feedback on it, and you can there's links to the apps. You can press the button and it'll take you straight to the Play Store so you can install it, and also to the Amazon Store and install it. And so, like I said, I'm trying to build a website where people can come in and get good videos and not have to worry about, the the goal is when I start adding advertisement, I'm going to target each page separately. So if you're on the Android page, like you can go to the Android page and you'll never see an ad for an Apple product, or you'll never see an ad for a Windows product, because you don't want to see those ads. You want to see Android stuff, or you want to see game apps and ads for that type of thing. So that's what I'm going to work on. It's when you get to the page and you get into the particular page you want, it's like a little paradise where you can learn all about, Android is an example. You can learn all about Android without ever seeing anything that doesn't have to do with Android, because there's nothing more annoying than when you're trying to do research about a particular thing and you get all these advertisements for, shaving cream or, toothbrushes or something. So that's the plan, is to eventually even the advertisements are going to coincide with what's on that particular page. And it's going to be I hope to make it a really great experience for the user. And I know I kind of went on really long there, but it's like I said, it's something I'm very passionate about. This website is more than anything I've ever done before. There's going to be so much content on here, and I've been asked by several people, how are you going to do this? First of all, that's a lot of stuff to try to take on, and as well, I'm going to get the family involved, I'm going to get the friends involved, because it's not just me, it's going to affect a lot of people, and I want it to be the best that it can be. So I'm hoping, by the end of the year, when 2017 hits, I'm hoping to have quite a few people visiting the site every day and giving feedback. So if you're watching this, I would really appreciate it if you visit the site and kind of, let me know. I mean, hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on any of the Twitters on there that are on there, and then the one I mostly use is Phonetics Inc. At Phonetics Inc. on Twitter. So you can hit me up there, and I'm more than happy to answer questions. And if you need help, I'm here to help. I'm quote on, in some areas, and if I don't know the answer, I'll get the answer for you, because I have access to a few higher people that can answer that question that you might not be able to directly email, but I can get in touch with. So I'm gonna try to use what I have going for me here as far as the tech world, and hopefully make other people's lives better.
All right. Well, thanks, Shane. Really appreciate that. My visual was gone, folks. It's my first time using the YouTube / Google Plus on this new laptop. Windows 8.1 is not being nice to me. But you did get an earful of Shane there, and that's what I really wanted. Promote Shane, PhoneticsInc.com. We'll check it out. We'll try to do more. We'll get better. This is Anthony F. here, and Shane from Android Phonetics signing off.